Hello and welcome to Pricing Alchemy. Today's episode is all about refining your back-end pricing model and optimizing it in a way to sell more of the high value and long-term plans to keep your facility thriving. So without holding back, here's what we're going to cover. We'll start by revealing the stark differences between a front and back-end offer. We'll walk you through how to build a bulletproof pricing structure, pricing strategies that help push prospects over the edge to sign up with you, and then also how to still profit while providing incentives to your offer. All right, so let's start with front and back-end offers. So starting off, there are two types of offers that we run to attract and sign more clients and members up for our membership programs. These are front-end offers and back-end offers, okay? So one of the most tragic pitfalls observed is when a business owner fails to distinguish between the two of these. Okay, and it can quite literally cost your entire marketing campaign. So as an experienced marketer myself, it makes my skin crawl when I see businesses advertise using their back-end offers, or even worse, directly advertising their membership prices when they're running things like Facebook ads, promotional posts, things like that. So my goal in this episode is to strip back the confusion against pricing and incentive-based offers once and for all. But to do this, we must first revisit what actually are front and back end offers. So what are these two things? And they may sound fancy, but once understood, it is very simple. Okay, so here at the front line of your advertising campaign, you will find your front end offer. So some examples here: 10-day free trial, 7 days for $7, 30 days Slim for Santa challenge. Okay, so we have a full video dedicated to the exact offers that we recommend that you use, and that is basically found within our Offer Vault episode. But the fundamental goal of running a front-end offer is simply to attract a prospect. So to disrupt their behavior patterns, stop them from their endless phone scrolling, and to persuade them to opt in to visiting your facility. So that is the primary goal here. And the framework here is simple. So we create a front-end offer with an incredible value to effort ratio. So we see these two things here. And we want to obviously create these offers with the lowest possible barrier to entry. And the best way to do this is to actually leverage a free offer. Okay, so we will speak a little bit more about this, but I've given one example here. So trial 1 class a week for free for 28 days. And this gives a try before you buy element to your facility. So the ideology here is simple. We attract a larger pool of interested prospects when we run these offers, and then we ensure they are qualified and booked for their visit. And then close them on our back-end offer in a consultation directly after their first visit. More on that later, as we do have an entire sales module. So naturally, the back-end offers are the membership offers themselves. Okay, so we think of the front end, the front line. Back-end is what we actually try and sell them on, but we still need to have an incentivized offer here. So these are obviously the packages that you present to your prospect once they're inside the consultation room. And in order for us to leverage the powerful psychology, biases, and pricing techniques that I'm going to discuss today, you must not be like every other business owner in this space shouting their back-end offer from the rooftops. Okay, so you keep this silent. This is just for the sales scenario. Okay, so it is vital that these offers are kept in line with the sales process. They're only revealed once the prospect has shown up to your facility and is sitting directly beside you after their session. And also back-end offers must be uniquely packaged to communicate the most value to the buyer. And they must be sculpted by you to yield the highest value membership sales possible. Okay, so I've given it another example here. For like a 12-month offer, you could say you get a free weekly one-on-one session when you commit to a 12-month plan. And that could be like a 1 times a week or 2 times a week class, whatever you guys are offering. This is pretty much based on a 4-pack one-on-one session being around $320. You would basically reduce, or what you would sell here for your 12-month offer would be a 15% reduction of that. Okay, so 270. So if you think about pricing, this is something that you need to obviously get nailed down. In essence, I guess what I'm saying is that the back-end offers are what lubricate the sale and push prospects over the edge who otherwise may not have converted. And we obviously refer to this paradigm as seamless sales. Now that we've understood that, the rest of this video will discuss the strategies of back-end offers. So we will go into this in more detail, and we'll go into how to convert more high-value packages into committed membership subscriptions. Okay, so moving on. All right, building your bulletproof pricing structure in a few simple steps. Let's get into it. Step 1, and I'm going to say this right now, do not under any circumstance display your current prices or back-end offer membership price on your website. This is based on those of you that have control over this. Of course, if you're running a franchise and you can't control this, that's fine. But for those of you that do not do this, okay? The only mitigation, as I said, is if you are a franchise owner. Okay, so you're probably wondering, why shouldn't I advertise my prices? My customers need to know first, or need to know me first to make a decision, right? Unfortunately not. And the reason why is that, well, displaying your prices kills all curiosity towards your membership package. Now, the last thing that you want is for your prospect to have an objection to the sale before they even step foot into your facility. And if you display your prices, then your prospect is going to shop around or probably just take your price for its face value and then think, well, I can just join this gym for way cheaper. And they won't first understand the depth of, well, their own pain, which of course we teach you how to uncover during the Easy Sales Framework process, okay? So without an incentive to show up, this will massively reduce your offer show rate and will pretty much reduce your overall membership subscription sold. So I can guess you're probably not getting more than 5 memberships over just your website right now. So why even bother displaying it there? Okay, it doesn't make sense. Now, people will always adhere better to the try before you buy model. So whether you have the chance to actually display your value before asking the high value sale membership first. Okay, so you always want to have people actually come in and see your facility first, then you tell them the price. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Step 2, I'm going to hazard the guess that you are a responsible business owner and that with that you have done your due diligence of actually researching your local competition. And I say this because you have to apply practicality to your pricing. So put yourself in your potential buyer's shoes. What other competition could they be trialing with or speaking to? You got to actually think about your prospect's mind. You must know yourself how your competitors are pricing and more importantly, what they actually offer. And then from there, you'll have a ballpark range to price your own services, but also a blank canvas of value for you to stack on in addition. So if you want to think about branching away from competitors, this is an amazing way to do it. And it's a great way to stack on value to actually ramp up your own membership's perceived value, okay, from the prospect's point of view. All right, so I've given like one example here is, for example, like just offering a complimentary towel for their workout. Okay, this is not only do you locate your competitive edge, but you can also actually charge more for your services when you do things like this. Okay, and you can also price based on true value when you do this. So you've always ask, how much is this truly worth to the prospect? Are you solving a pain point or a convenience for them? To take the towel, for example, now a client does not have to bring their own with them or carry a sweaty towel around with them all day at work. All right, that's a successful value stack. So you can actually charge more for your membership for that convenience. And also back to basics here, but when you're pricing your services, actually have your profit margin in mind. Don't just price because it looks like a nice number or for whatever reason. Actually follow the numbers for what makes sense for you financially. It sounds basic, but a lot of people don't do this, all right? So this is why you don't need to advertise your prices on your website. You need to be able to test multiple price points and find that sweet spot when you're doing a consultation. Because if you go displaying it everywhere, you can't really go back on your word. And also, don't just underprice for the sake of it, okay? And don't just try and undercut the market or whatever. Most facility owners charge half of what they're really worth. I'll say it again. Most facility owners charge half of what they're really worth. So lead with value and be proud of the premium service that you provide. You have much less leverage if you open up with a membership which is low ticket and then try and increase it from there, because people are always going to have the hump about that. Okay, you will eventually have to increase your prices. And with that comes all the headaches and the disputes if you're attracting the wrong buyers by underpricing to begin with. Step 3. So the last thing that you want to do when you're presenting your prices to your membership or for your membership is to actually confuse or overwhelm your potential buyer. That's the last thing you want. You actually need clarity. Don't have too many membership term options. You want to use a tier membership system to present your memberships. With this, okay, some key things. You only want 3 maximum terms. So some key ones I like to propose basically is month on month, 6 month, 12 months. And then also make sure you don't have too many access options, okay? So you want 3 maximum, ideally 2. By that, I mean how many times people can actually access your facility. So you've got unlimited, 4 times a month, 8 times a month. Again, if you're doing classes, you're doing PT, things like that. This is a really good way to frame it. So I'll break it down. Like I've just said, the less you have, the easier it will be to make a sale, because you might think that by giving everyone all these options, it's going to fine tune or it's going to help them find the exact one they want. Actually, the more you can reduce this, the better. If you could literally just offer monthly or 6 month packages, or just 6 month or 12 month, no month to month, or, just 8 month and unlimited, it's going to help you a lot. And one last thing, don't offer class packages or any sort of one-off type packs, seriously, because they will ruin your retention. Day passes with like a significant value markup are acceptable for generating some extra cash flow, because obviously you can use walk-ins and day passes as a gateway to your membership sale. But if you're doing class packages, But packs actually allow prospects who are still unsure or on the fence to have this sense of freedom to, come and go and use their facility as they please. And yes, sure, you can charge more for them, but the income is actually unpredictable. So we want sustainable, recurring income. And the best way to approach this is to just not give packs or just not give your members that option to buy them and only offer a membership. So then you'll actually have some clarity that your revenue is not going to drop by over 50% overnight because your clients have fleeting emotions. All right. So if you want recurring revenue, clients results that last, you'll thank me later, kill off the packs. Now we're going to get into the first visit close. As I've said before, obviously we have a full sales training, but I did want to discuss some other strategies that you can use first of all, okay, while we're sort of in this area of pricing. Okay, so earlier I spoke a little bit about the sales process, including signing up the prospect on the first day they visit. Obviously this sounds easier said than done, and trust me, I've been there myself, but there's something I encourage you to use known as the enrollment fee strategy. So this strategy allows you to provide incentive and urgency to make the potential buyer make an informed decision on their first day. All right, so how does it work? It goes a little bit like this. So Jane, the membership would usually cost $250 a month and a $200 enrollment fee. However, because you've signed up through our special offer, and then you just name your offer there, and you're a first-time visitor, you'll get the entire 6-month plan for just $200 a month, and just $250 a month, and we'll scrap that entire enrollment fee completely for you just for today. So that's what you want to say. And if you're currently using an enrollment fee, or actually, let me just revisit this for a second, okay? So you can actually pair this with scarcity, such as you could say something like, well, we only really take on about 5 people a month for this program. And once those spots are filled, that's it. So what this will set up for is a really easy close. And the crazy part is you actually don't need to have or ever charge an enrollment fee in the first place. This is just verbiage, okay? It's just what you say, all right? So that fee is simply there for the sole reason of increasing the perceived value of making a decision on the prospect's first visit. So if you say you're going to waive it, even regardless of if you actually have one or not, if you say you're going to waive it, they're like, wow, this is great, let me sign up. And whether you do end up charging a couple of enrollment fees is up to you. It can be a nice sum of extra cash, or it can be a good way for those of you that do slip through the cracks. If you're running like a free trial or something, more on that again in later episodes, feel free to charge this if you want. But it is for this reason, however, why it's so crucial that you do not display your current prices on your website. I know I keep saying it, but if you're advertising without enrollment fee currently, and then you say this in the consultation, they're going to be a bit confused, okay? So if you are currently using an enrollment fee, you can still maneuver your pricing so that you don't take a loss. So let's say you offer a $200 monthly membership and you're currently offering $100 enrollment fee, okay, and you're not using the strategy we just discussed. What I'd encourage you to do is increase the price of your membership by $100 to mark up the value. So then when you wipe off the enrollment fee, you can just wipe it off altogether. All right. So instead of 200, you say it's 300 with that enrollment fee, and then you wipe that off altogether. So it's just the membership. Okay. Because people don't like paying for these things. People don't like paying for these enrollment fees. And if they can get rid of it, they'll happily do that if it means they actually end up spending more a month. Again, make sure we're not advertising this anywhere. All right. So you could even take it a step further. Okay. You could mark up the enrollment fee to 200. So now they're saving 200 by signing up with you today. Okay. So if you want this enrollment fee to be even bigger, obviously make it realistic. Nobody is going to enroll at your facility for $500 for no reason. All right. So 100, 200 is a bit of a push, but 100 is really that sweet spot. So how can we make a profit on our membership sales while giving the prospect an absolute steal of a price? Because that sounds a little bit paradoxical, right? So I'm going to break it down with some clever pricing theory, as there is a way that you can apply discount to your membership without actually discounting your prices. And it's much more simple than you may think. In fact, you can use this process to sign up full price members and even increase your membership prices despite giving the illusion of a heavily discounted package, all right, or a plan. So to do this, I'm going to make the assumption that you have followed the previous advice and you have a tier list of 2 to 3 membership options. So, think monthly, 6 month, 12 month, and less than 3, but ideally 1 to 2 access options. All right. So think they can come 8 times a month or unlimited. So let's dive in, shall we? So to start, you want to mark up the current price that you would charge for a month-to-month membership by 15%, so that your middle pack becomes the monthly price. So what am I talking about here? So these will be our current prices: 200, 6 month, 170, 12 month, 150. You basically want to mark this up by 15%. Okay, and that what that means is that this generally, like around about, it really does depend on your prices. This monthly, month for month one will become your middle price, and then this one will bump up by 15%. Okay, this one is 25% up from this. Okay, very simple. So pretty much when we are actually approaching the close, you can mention this huge 15% reduction by signing on for the 6-month program. So this is just here to anchor the price. So if we can increase this and increase this, you don't really want people on month to month. You want them on these 6 to 12 month plans, right? So if you anchor that price and you mention the huge 15% reduction, if they just use that 6-month plan, or even 25% reduction if they do the 12 month, and also mention obviously the waiving the enrollment fee if they sign up today, and only mention that the enrollment fee can be waived on the 6 and 12 month plan. Again, it's going to create this illusion of massive amounts of savings, right? So we can actually use this formula to calculate the savings. So if you want to give specific numbers when you're in the consultation, then this is how you would want to calculate that, right? So our savings is pretty much the reduction amount times by the months elapsed and then plus the enrollment fee. And that gives us the amount in savings. So for the examples here, okay, the reduction amount was $30 from here to here, times by 6 months if you're going for that middle package, and then plus that $200 enrollment fee is $380 in savings. That's how much they would save for signing up today. But this is all, as we know, a little bit of pricing theory trickery, okay? So we covered the 3-tier system, but there's only 2 tiers amongst that we actually care about. And I mentioned them a little bit. It's commitment or access. So the best way to approach this is to always have the minimum amount of options possible. So to do that, you must have a tier of either commitment or access and have the other as a constant. So how can this play out? As I said, always want the minimum amount. You always want to have one as a constant. Okay, this is going to help you when it comes to optimizing your tiers. So the access can be a constant with a commitment tier list, right? So for example, all memberships are an 8-month or are in 8 times a month at a monthly, 6-month or 12-month price. So regardless of if they do month to month, 6 months or 12 months, they can all come at 8 times a month. That's the constant, the access, right? If the membership is your constant, they can pick one single plan, such as the 12-month that you offer, and then base your membership tier as the access, right? So this is quite good if you only want to sell 12-month plans. You don't do any month to month. You don't want to do 6 months. Of course, you can change this about, but ideally you want 6 to 12 months. Then you can just use the membership as your constant and then have different tiers in access. So 4 times a month, 8 times a month, and unlimited. All right, only for that 12-month plan. So this is great for your sales practice and membership closing rate, as you'll actually get better over time at selling a specific type of membership. Ideally, as I said, one with high value and commitment. So we're always optimizing for one single package in mind when we're doing marketing. And that's usually going to be our 6 or 12-month commitment. Okay. So now optimizing for the middle package is simple and the most common practice. So from the baseline, pretty much like the lowest tier, cost will make a 10% price decrease and then a further 10% price decrease from the original baseline to the highest tier. Okay, so it's very simple. This is how you optimize for the middle, because people will naturally gravitate towards it. Okay, so that could be $300 for month on month, $270 for 6 months, $240 for 12 months. Now, to optimize for your higher tier, from the baseline cost, okay, so from this top one here, you want to make a 10% price decrease for that middle one, and then a 15% price decrease for the higher end. So it's only 5% less than the middle tier, is what I mean by that. So if you're looking at this, 270, 240, you're looking at this, 270, 255, people are going to start rationalizing in their head, oh, well, it's only 15. It's all in the discrepancy. It's not necessarily the figure, okay? Because you could look at these and you could say, wow, they're all $30 in between for this particular price point. People are always going to go for the middle one generally. But if they only see that small discrepancy there between the two, they think, well, why not? Why not just go for that top one there? Get that little bit of a reduction, if you will. Okay, so you can actually apply these exact principles of pricing structure, but instead of charging a subscription or a month on month where they pay you, however it is, you can actually get paid 100% full upfront. So if you like the sound of lifetime value and growth, but the thought of waiting 6 to 12 months to actually realize those gains and profit doesn't particularly excite you, then, well, first of all, you're not alone. And using upfront payments whereby you get your customers to pay for you for an extended period of time is an excellent way to scale fast. So think about it. Your total cost to acquire a customer, or also can be called our CAC, maybe for like, let's say argument's sake, $200. Okay. When you factor in, obviously that's factoring in total ad spend, labor costs, etc., $200. So if you're selling a monthly subscription at $200 for 12 months, pretty much breaking even on the first month and sitting on your hands waiting for 12 months or 11 actually, to actually get that full $2,400. Now, over time, of course, your CAC may improve due to obviously more efficient ads, landing pages, but it's generally going to remain around that figure. Really, it's not going to be too much of an improvement. But on the other hand, if you want to actually make a big improvement, you could collect that $2,400, which is the lifetime value, as a one-time upfront payment. And as a result of that, you could invest a lot more back into things such as marketing and actually driving up the budget to increase your results tenfold. So why this is powerful is that you know that you can spend $200 and make back $2,400 pretty quickly. And the great thing is that the members that you close on these sort of packages are typically a lot more invested and committed to your facility. So that's that. So you're sold on paid in full offers. Okay, upfront sounds amazing, but how on earth will you actually get somebody to pay all of that money upfront? Like before, it's all about positioning. So yes, you can use the same enrollment fee trick. You can use a tier system tricks to sell the exact plan that you want at the right place. We spoke a little bit about how you can position, okay, for different types of offers, optimizing, using percentages. So I've actually got another trick up my sleeve, and it's used exclusively for upfront plans. So we can use all of those other tricks, but I've got something explicitly for upfront plans, okay? Here's what we do. We increase our prices, and then we create a bundle, okay? So here's how it works. Let's say your core offer is $200 a month for 12 months, like we've been speaking about. You want to create an upfront bundle for 6 months, then you're going to double your prices, and then you're going to bundle in 1 to 2 low-cost services that you wouldn't typically include in your membership. So for example, you could do a monthly orientation session, a full body postural analysis, a weekly nutrition plan, priority class access, parking, right? There's tons of different things you could include in here. I think you get the point. It has to be a bolt-on that you can give out without too much headache or effort, but it's going to increase the perceived value of the membership offer. Okay, and then here's a trick. So you say in your messaging, pay for 6 and get the next 6 free. All right, so 6 times $400 a month, $2,400. So they have effectively paid for the 12 months up front in full, with a few side bonuses that if they question why other members are only paying $200 a month, you can say it's because they don't get those particular services. Now, that's an excellent way, and it's an excellent offer, because if you think of it, like, it's way more incentive as well, rather than you just going up. Because here's the thing is that owners of facilities will come to me and they'll say, well, if I go up to someone and I say, oh, can you buy my 12-month plan for $2,400? Like, it's a lot more friction of the sale. It's all within how you position. Like, you've got to say, pay for 6 and get the next 6 free. Okay, something like that. And then just double the price. Okay, and add a few bundles. This is still the 12-month plan. They're still there for 12 months. It still adds up the same. It's still EFT. It's just all about how you position. Now, this can obviously be modified, but the principles remain the same, and it's extremely effective as a tool to actually drive up buyers' intent. Okay, so you could do this for a 6-month membership. So you basically just want to cut what we've done here in half. So you could say buy free and get your next free on us, and then pay $1,200 for a 6-month membership. Okay, so if you're a bit worried about doing this big amount at first, feel free to try this out with 6 months as well. But look, this method is also highly effective in converting to a rolling membership at the end of the regular monthly rate, at the end of the term to your regular monthly rate. So once this has run its course, once it's been 12 months, you can quite easily just enroll them onto this $200 a month as well. So it's like the lifetime value is even more. Of course, you've got to be careful with your messaging, so ensure that prospects are always aware that it will roll over at the time when they're making the purchase for this. And also you want to add their details onto your payment processor and send out text and email reminders the week or days leading up to their first rolling payment so that they've been notified of the change, okay? So that's how you add it. You can also get them rolling on. All right, so that's that. We're going to get into the action items of today. So they're pretty simple. First of all, I want you to come up with your own bulletproof back-end offer pricing structure. This can include tiers of access or commitment. Then I want you to remove your price anywhere your prices anywhere that it is publicly displayed if possible, and then actually implement the onboarding fee or the enrollment fee strategy to close more sales. And then I want you to decide on what services you could bundle together. So feel free to come up with some of your own suggestions and then create your upfront bundle like we spoke about. Also give it a catchy name if possible, something that rolls off the tongue. And that's all for today. So I'll catch you in the next episode.